Hey guys, what is up? Melis here with a brand new Minecraft video in which I'm going to be going over the majority of the stuff in the new 1.3 update. Now, there is a hell of a lot of new stuff, so let's get going. First up, when you load into the game, the Mojang splash screen has been reduced to only display for 1 second. We also have an improved options menu and some new chat options, including the ability to turn colours on and off in chat. We can change the opacity of chat, as well as switching it to commands only. We've also got new snooper mode. This is where Mojang is collecting information about your system and your game. The information is submitted anonymously, so they're not stealing your information, but if you wish to turn it on and off, there is that option as well. Texture packs now also work from folders as well as the zip files. And we also finally have the ability to reorder our server lists using Shift and the mouse click, or Shift plus an arrow key. There's also a bunch of new world options, so we've got large biome types, so we can have just the most enormous biomes in the ever. They're huge. We've got cheats mode, so we can have basically single player commands and change between game modes in game. There's also the option to turn on and off a bonus chest. Bonus chests will contain various tools and bits of food, and have some torches dotted about the place just to make the beginning of the game that little bit easier. Moving on into the game, the server and client logic has now been separated. This basically means that your single player levels can now be published onto a local area network, so anybody on the same network as you can join in, and basically you've got your own multiplayer server in-game single player thing, which is, you know, pretty cool. In-game NPC villages now change with the biome type, so you've got sandstone villages and deserts. We've also now got desert pyramids with chests and booby traps, and jungle ruins with chests and booby traps. Cocoa beans now sprout on small jungle trees. Subterranean types are now much bigger as well, so things like desert hills and ice mountains and stuff, you'll see them about. They're bigger. We've also had a number of changes to our debug screen, so now we've no longer got those big garish graphs anymore. The coordinates have been changed to 5 decimal places, so there's not a million little numbers to look at. Our Y coordinate now shows our eye level as well as the ground level, so we've got 2 different Y values. We've also got our default walking speed and flying speed should stay pretty constant, and what's called a Boolean value, that's telling us whether it's true that we're touching the ground or stuff, just in case you couldn't tell. Shift clicking now works with our armor slots, as well as with brewing and enchanting. Dispensers will dispense minecarts straight onto tracks, and boats straight into water, which is pretty cool. No more crazy redstone minecart stations. That kind of sucks. Dispensers will also dispense water and lava from a bucket and suck them back up as long as they contain an empty bucket, and that's kind of cool as well. Passive mobs, our livestock, are much easier to negotiate. You can just kind of walk right through them now without being jostled and pushed around and chucked off cliffs by them. Thank God for that. Wooden tools now work in furnaces. Cookies will recover a full hunger point rather than just half of one. Empty buckets are now stackable in stacks of 16 and work in a similar kind of way as glass bottles. Boats no longer explode when they touch lily pads. The lily pads will either be destroyed or they'll actually drop, so that makes a hell of a lot more sense rather than iceberg death lily pads. Smelting using a bucket of lava now leaves the bucket behind afterwards. Netherwort now grows in the overworld in the end, so we no longer have to wait around in the nether for it. And signposts are now stackable up to 16 as well, and also the crafting recipe will now give you 3 signposts rather than just 1. On to multiplayer, and hardcore servers are now available. Basically, if you die, you get banned. There is now the option for a server-suggested texture pack, which can be automatically downloaded to you. You can also turn this off client-side, so it won't automatically download a texture pack to you. When another player mines a block, you can now see the cracks appearing, and also you can also see when another player has enchanted gear, which is kind of cool. Onto mobs, pigs will now drop 1 to 3 meat. We've got decreased slime spawning rate in super flat worlds. Unfortunately, if you do hang around in one place for a long time, then we still will have a million slimes about the place, so that, that needs to be fixed. Silverfish suffering from poison will now call for backup from any nearby silverfish blocks. Creepers and spiders will stay aggressive to the last player that hit them. And if you're in creative mode and punch a zombie, creeper or skeleton, then they will actually now lose interest in you after a couple of seconds rather than chasing you to the ends of the earth. We've got a bunch of new blocks and items. First up, we've got the emerald ore. Now this is really quite rare. Will only spawn in extreme hills biomes, and will only spawn up to 8 per chunk in veins of 1. So yeah, really quite rare. However, if you get enough of them, then you can craft them together and make an emerald block in the same kind of way that you make diamond blocks, but these are emerald blocks and they're green and kind of leprechaun-y. We've got a new storage block, which is your end chest. Now this is a chest which kind of shares its inventory with all other end chests that you've crafted. So if you put a diamond in one end chest on one end of the map and then go to a different end of the map or into the nether or something and open another end chest, then that will have that same item in it, which is, pretty cool. You can even, if you've got a silk touch enchantment on your pickaxe, then dig it up and then carry your end chest with you and put it down wherever you want. You've got access to all the stuff that's in it anywhere. It's like inventoryception. Got a new golden apple, or rather the old golden apple. Old golden apple crafting with 8 blocks of gold, but new effects, just amazing, crazy buffs. Just try it. Look at them. All the types of wooden plank now have their own stair type and half block type. Sandstone also has its own stair type now as well. String can now be placed directly on the floor in a decorative kind of crisscrossy kind of pattern. And we also have the new trip wires, so you can set up traps and stuff, and all the adventure map makers are going to be going crazy with it. They really are. And finally, we're able to rotate log blocks so we can put logs onto their side. It's taken so long. Books now have a new crafting recipe. And they're now editable as well, so you can write your own books in Minecraft and stuff. Also, probably quite useful for you adventure map makers. We can now trade with villagers! It uses the new emeralds as a currency, and different villager types will offer you different types of trade. So blacksmiths will let you trade various weapons and tools, and also chainmail, whereas the purple guy will let you buy enchantments from them, or buy bottles of enchanting from them, or Eyes of Ender, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, really cool. Enchanting has also had a bit of an overhaul, so now our maximum enchant level is 30. Enchantments now display in order from lowest at the top to highest at the bottom, and the highest possible enchantment will display more frequently as well. So yeah. Silk Touch has had an overhaul, so now we can harvest glass and ice with tools which got Silk Touch. XP is now available from mining various different resources. You get different amounts from different ores, and also smelting resources, and also destroying mob spawners will give you XP as well now. Leveling up is a little bit different now as well. Levels 1 to 15 will cost 17 XP. Levels 16 to 30 will cost an extra 3 XP per level, and levels 30 plus will cost an extra 7 XP per level. We have a new game type as well, Adventure Mode. Now this is obviously aimed more directly at adventure map makers, so in this mode blocks are unbreakable, and also the player can't place any blocks, but they are able to interact with redstone inputs, doors, villagers and mobs and stuff. This brings us neatly onto creative mode. We have a new inventory style. Items are now categorized into different tabs. We're able to delete items from our hotbar using shift click, and there's also a little delete item X thing on the bottom right. We can switch back and forwards nice and easily to a survival inventory, Also, the end portal block has been added to the creative inventory, as well as the silverfish spawner blocks as well. Also, the settled snow block is there too. The middle click pick button has been fixed for all items and mobs, so you can now get grass when you click on grass, or you get a mob egg when you click on various different mobs. Right clicking on a powered minecart will make them go. Also now we're able to destroy minecarts and boats with one click when we're in creative mode as well, rather than destroying the entire scenery of everything before the thing goes away. Flying in water has finally been fixed, and also villagers that are spawned from eggs will get a random profession of randomness. But wait, there's more! Now drops and items of the same type will stack together, so around mob traps and stuff will reduce lag. That's really cool. Boats broken by the player will now drop a boat rather than sticks and stuff. Stars have been made more realistic, and there's a new gravel texture. Why? Why is there a new gravel texture? Rain now drips through the bottom leaves on trees, and will also fill up cauldrons eventually. Also, upper half slabs and upside down stairs have been changed so that mobs can spawn on top of them, and you can place torches on top of them and redstone on top of them and stuff like that. Also, the hitbox on the stairs has been altered so you can look straight through the middle and even fire arrows through them, which is pretty cool. Zombie pigmen will spawn randomly around nether portals because they're cheeky. Your boats are faster and easier to control. Kind of. Wooden pressure plates now detect arrows. Mob spawners have been given NBT values so that you can spawn specific mobs like charged creepers or endermen holding TNT or boats or TNT. This has to be done outside of Minecraft in an NBT editor like NBT Explorer though. Levers can now be placed upside down on the ceiling. TNT explosions now deal different amounts of damage depending on the difficulty that you're playing on. There's also now a demo mode for non-premium members which will last 5 Minecraft days. And that is not everything, because there are millions upon hundreds and thousands and lots of bug fixes. All of these bug fixes, look at them all. However, there are a couple of new bugs, such as the lighting glitch. You will notice it everywhere. But that's pretty much it for 1.3. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, give us a like and leave us a comment down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will catch you next time.